My little daughter hugged me and whispered, "Mommy, why do you always pretend to be sick?" At that moment, I realized that not only I knew about my plan, but she had also seen through it with her innocence. Emma's words pierced my soul. My 5-year-old daughter had already figured out the truth that adults couldn't see. The mental illness act I had been maintaining for 2 years. It all started 3 years ago when my husband David came home late that night. It was the 8th year of our marriage, and everything seemed perfect. David had built a successful tech company, and I was living happily as a devoted wife and mother-daughter. It was 11 o'clock that night. When I saw the red lipstick stain on David's jacket collar, my world turned upside down. It wasn't the shade I wore. My heart was beating so fast I could barely breathe. "You're very late," I said with a trembling voice. "Client meeting ran long, honey," David replied, not noticing the lipstick stain I had spotted. "How are you and Emma?" Seeing his natural demeanor made me feel even worse. What if there was really an innocent explanation? But my woman's intuition was telling me something else. The next day, after David left for work, I couldn't stand it anymore. I had never liked his assistant Sophia. She was beautiful, smart, and worked very closely with David, with growing suspicion. I went to David's office. When I asked the secretary where David was, she said, "Mr. Harrison and Miss Sophia are in a meeting." At that moment, I realized that the client meeting David had told me about was a lie. As I walked down the hallway, I heard voices coming from David's office. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, David and Sophia were kissing. It felt like a piece of ice was melting in my stomach. My legs were shaking, but instead of running away, I continued to listen. "Does Catherine suspect anything?" Sophia asked, getting off David's lap. "No, she doesn't suspect anything. She's too naive anyway," David said with a smile. "But we need to resolve this situation now." "What do you mean?" David leaned against his desk. "We need to get rid of Catherine now. But if I file for divorce, I'll lose half the company, and Emma's custody will be an issue too." Sophia's eyes lit up. "Then we need to find another solution." "Like what?" "If your wife loses her mental health, you become her guardian. Then you introduce me as your wife. No divorce case, no property division." When I heard those words, my blood ran cold. They were planning to make me look crazy to take everything away from me. "How would that be possible?" David asked. "Very simple. Small doses of medication, constant psychological pressure, and of course the right doctor. I know a psychiatrist who will give us any report we want for money." I had seen enough. I quietly left the office and went home. When David came home that night, I acted as if nothing had happened. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept asking myself the same question: what am I going to do? I could have exposed David, but Sophia was right. If I filed for divorce, I would lose half of everything. Plus, David's lawyers were very good. Near dawn, a plan came to my mind. If they were going to try to make me look crazy, I would give them a perfect mental patient performance. But actually, I would monitor their every move, learn their plans, and eventually defeat them. This plan was very risky, but it was my only chance. The next morning, while David was making coffee, I acted as usual. "Good morning, honey," I said, with a smile. "Good morning, Catherine. How are you feeling today?" "Good," I said, but inside I was in hell. When David handed me my coffee, I watched his eyes carefully. My coffee had a strange taste, slightly bitter and metallic. So they had started putting medication in it. I began to act as if I was feeling the effects of the medication. I would blur my eyes, slow down my speech, and act as if I was confused. "Catherine, honey, are you okay?" he asked, and I looked at him with vacant eyes and mumbled. While inside I felt like laughing a little. "Dizzy," I said with a trembling voice. I saw the fake concern on David's face, but there was also a glimmer of satisfaction in his eyes. As weeks passed, my condition began to worsen. In David's eyes, the medications were taking effect. Meanwhile, I continued to listen to their conversations every night. One evening, David was talking to Sophia on the phone. "Catherine's condition is progressing. I'll call Dr. Peterson this week. I'll find out how much he wants for the fake report." Dr. Peterson. I noted the name. Another night, I heard David talking to his business partner, Marcus. "Catherine's condition is really getting worse. I think it might be early Alzheimer's. I don't have time to take care of her, and I can't take care of Emma either. He was lying. He was telling different stories to everyone. During this time, the moments I spent with Emma were the hardest for me. My daughter was watching me carefully. "Mommy, why do you sometimes act so strange?" she asked one day. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "You're different when Daddy's around and different when he's not." I was surprised that my daughter could make such a sharp observation. "I'm just tired, Emma," I had said, but Emma's suspicions were growing. One day, when she hugged me, she whispered, "Mommy, you're not sick at all. You're just pretending to be sick so Daddy won't see you, right?" At that moment, my heart tightened. Having my daughter be so smart both made me proud and scared me. "This will be our secret, okay?" I had said to her. Emma nodded. "Okay, Mommy, I'll protect you." A month later, David took me to Dr. Peterson. When I entered the examination room, I noticed Dr. Peterson and David making eye contact. This doctor was definitely David's man. "Mrs. Harrison, how are you feeling?" Dr. Peterson asked. I performed my perfect crazy woman act. I rolled my eyes vacantly, made incomplete sentences, sometimes looked at David as if I didn't recognize him. Who is that man?" I said, pointing at David. Dr. Peterson was taking notes. David said with fake concern, "Doctor, my wife's condition is really serious." At the end of the examination, Dr. Peterson turned to David and whispered, "Your wife's condition is serious. She's no longer aware of anything." I had seen the satisfied expression that appeared on David's face. Their plans were working. After Dr. Peterson's report, David established new rules at home. "Catherine's condition is getting worse. Sophia will come to the house occasionally to help her," he told Emma. Emma was very angry about this situation. "Why is Aunt Sophia always here? I can take care of Mommy myself." "Emma, your mother is sick. She needs help from adults." Sophia had started coming to the house to take care of poor Catherine, David told everyone. But in reality, they were kissing in front of my eyes and making plans for the future. One evening, while I was pretending to lie in bed, I heard their conversation. "Let's wait a few more months," Sophia was saying. "Then we'll put her in a private care facility. It would be better for her anyway." "What about Emma?" "We'll tell Emma that her mother will receive better care there. Besides, what would a child understand?" When I heard this conversation, I was about to go crazy with anger. They were not only deceiving me, but also Emma. For 2 years, I started secretly recording every conversation between David and Sophia. I was using my phone's voice recording app. I was taking photos of important documents from David's computer. I had found receipts for bribes given to Dr. Peterson, drafts of fake reports, and even documents for changing Emma's guardianship. David was taking legal steps to transfer Emma's custody to Sophia. He had written in the documents that, due to Catherine's mental health not being in place, a change of guardian is necessary for child safety. When I saw these documents, I realized how deeply the plan had been prepared. They were trying to take not only me but also Emma away from me. In another conversation between Sophia and David, I had heard this. "Emma is also starting to become a problem. She's constantly asking questions very close to her mother. What are we going to do? We'll distance her too. After Catherine is placed in the care facility, we'll send Emma to boarding school. That way, no one will bother us." During this time, I was also investigating David's company affairs. David was deceiving his partners to completely take over the company. He was telling his partner Marcus, "Catherine's treatment costs are very high. I need to increase my shares in the company," trying to gain more say in the company's management. In reality, there were no treatment costs for Catherine. David just wanted to completely take over the company. I had also found tax evasion documents. David was hiding millions of dollars in offshore accounts. He wasn't paying his taxes in full. While collecting all this information, I realized what a big fraudster David actually was. Emma was becoming more careful day by day. One day, when Sophia came to the house, Emma came to me and asked, "Mommy, does Aunt Sophia love you?" "Why are you asking such a thing, sweetheart?" "Because when she looks at you, her eyes aren't loving at all. She looks at you like she hates you." Emma's observation was very accurate. When David wasn't around, Sophia treated me very coldly. Another day, Emma whispered to me while hugging me, "Mommy, why do you always pretend to be sick?" That's when I realized that Emma had seen everything. Despite her innocence, my daughter had already grasped the truth that adults couldn't see. "This is our secret, right?" I had said to her. "Yes, Mommy, I'll always protect you." After 2 years, I had enough evidence to destroy David and Sophia. More than 50 audio recordings, photos of bribery documents, drafts of fake medical reports, tax evasion documents, Emma's guardianship change documents, offshore account information. David and Sophia were now implementing their final plans. Sophia was saying, "Catherine is completely out of control now. We need to put her in a care facility immediately." That night, I decided it was time to say enough. The next morning, after sending Emma to school, I went to David, who was making coffee in the kitchen. This time, it wasn't the crazy wife he had imagined, but the real Catherine standing in front of him. "David," I said, my voice ice cold, "when are you going to stop putting medication in my coffee?" The cup almost fell from his hand. His face had turned completely white. "Catherine, how?" "I've been aware of everything for 2 years," I said with a smile. "Your relationship with Sophia, your plan to make me look crazy, your intention to take over the company, everything." David was panicked and couldn't speak. "You know, David, I learned a lot while playing this game. For example, that you evade taxes, deceive your company partners, bribe Dr. Peterson, and have even prepared documents for Emma's guardianship changed." Eyes had grown wide. "You can't prove this." I took out my phone. "I have audio files, photos, and documents. I've been recording for 2 years. Your conversations with Sophia, the bribe you gave to the doctor, your fake report drafts. Everything is here." I played one of the audio recordings from my phone. David's own voice could be heard. "We need to get rid of Catherine. By making her look crazy, I'll keep her guardianship in my hands." David had collapsed. "What do you want?" "Now I'm making the rules, David," I said. "Tomorrow morning you'll say goodbye to Sophia. Then you'll sign a divorce agreement. You'll leave me 80% of the company, the house, and Emma's custody." "This is impossible," he shouted. "Otherwise, all the documents go to the police, tax office, your company partners, and the court. And you'll go to prison for fraud, tax evasion, and poisoning your wife." David's face was in complete disarray. "Catherine, please be reasonable. These things don't work like this." "You didn't think like this when you were poisoning me for 2 years," I said coldly. "Now you have two choices. Either make a deal with or rot in prison." That day must have been the longest day in David's life. When Emma came back from school in the evening, I hugged her. "I don't need to pretend to be sick anymore," I said. "I knew it," she said, her eyes sparkling. "You're so smart, Mommy. Did you defeat Daddy?" "Yes, sweetheart. No one can hurt us anymore." The next day I heard Sophia's screams from in front of the house. David must have told her everything. That crazy woman. How could she understand? "You told me everything was under control." She was screaming, but it was too late now. David had signed the agreement. Sophia had been fired from the company. Dr. Peterson's fake reports had been handed over to the police. When the company partners saw David's tax evasion documents, they completely removed him from the company. Now I was the new owner of the company. Ironic thing was, while playing the crazy role for 2 years, I had actually never acted so intelligently in my life. This plan I patiently built against their greed had made me a truly strong woman. When David came home to get his suitcases, they were waiting ready at the door. "Catherine, please. Maybe we can find a solution," he started to beg. "You're too late, David," I said. 2 years ago you had a chance to do the right thing, but you chose to kill me. Now I'm letting you live, but not in my life." Emma came running. "Mommy, is Daddy leaving?" "Yes, sweetheart. Now it's just you and me." While David was taking his suitcase, he looked at me one last time. There was regret in his eyes, but it was too late. "Can I see Emma?" he asked. Emma hid behind me. "No, I don't want to see Daddy. He was trying to make Mommy sick." David's face became even paler. Even his daughter's rejection had dealt him the final blow. As he was leaving the door, I called after him. "By the way, David, thank Dr. Peterson for me. The bribe money you gave him covered my new lawyer's fee." Isn't that ironic? The door closed. Emma held my hand. "Mommy, are you really happy now?" I smiled. For the first time in 2 years, I was really smiling. Yes, Emma, no one can hurt us anymore. Weeks passed. The house had become much more peaceful with David's absence. Emma was constantly laughing now. In the evenings, we would cook together, watch movies, and read books. Managing the company was difficult at first, but David's loyal employees helped me. They were also surprised when they saw David's true face. Mrs. Catherine, if we had known that Mr. David was trying to deceive you like this, company's financial manager apologized. Let's not talk about the past, I said. Now we'll move the company forward together. Dr. Peterson went to court. He went to prison for taking bribes and preparing fake reports. The money David had given was seized and returned to me. Sophia couldn't find a job. After David's scandal broke, no one trusted her. David, on the other hand, was living alone in a small apartment. The change in Emma was incredible. She was now much more confident and happy. Her success at school had also increased. Mommy, you're my hero, she said one day. Daddy tried to trick you, but you tricked him, I laughed. Emma, I didn't trick anyone. I just protected myself. When I grow up, I want to be strong like you too. You're already strong, sweetheart. During these 2 years, you didn't tell anyone our secret. That was great courage. Emma smiled proudly. 3 months later, Sophia came to our door. She looked terrible. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were swollen. Her clothes were old. Catherine, please talk to me, she said, crying. What do you want, Sophia? Everything was David's idea. I just loved him. Please take back the order to fire me from the company. Impossible, I said coldly. You're just as guilty as he is. But I've loved David since childhood. You came to him later. Hearing this hurt my heart, but I didn't let it break my resolve. Sophia, love doesn't justify anything. You tried to kill me, tried to take my daughter's mother away from her. There's no forgiveness for that. Tears were flowing from Sophia's eyes. What am I going to do now? I don't know, and I don't care. But if you come near this house again, I'll call the police. Sophia walked away hopelessly. That was the last time I saw her. 6 months later, David called me. His voice sounded very tired. Catherine, can I see Emma, please? Emma doesn't want to see you, David. Just once, I'm her father. You stopped being Emma's father 2 years ago, David. Now you're just a genetic connection. David started crying on the phone. Catherine, if you knew how sorry I am, if I could take everything back. You're too late, David. Now Emma is safe and happy. I won't let you upset her again. I am so lonely, Catherine. No one talks. To me, I can't find a job. This was your choice, David. You'll bear the consequences. I hung up the phone. I blocked David. Today, Emma and I are walking in the park. As she runs in the sunlight, I watch her happiness. Mommy, do you ever miss Daddy? She asked. No, sweetheart. Because the person I thought was your father never really existed. He was just a liar. Then, who is my real father? I smiled. Your real father will be someone who plays with you, reads you stories, protects you. Maybe he'll come one day, or maybe you and I are enough for each other. Emma thought about it. I think you and I are enough. Mommy, you can be both my mother and father. I hugged her. This little girl was the greatest treasure of my life. Today, our company completed its most successful year. We achieved unprecedented profits that were never seen during David's time. Emma is 7 years old and is a very smart, confident girl. She doesn't even remember those terrible days anymore, sometimes. I wonder where David is. From what I hear, he's working at a small job in another city. He's not in touch with Sophia either. Dr. Peterson is still in prison. He has 2 more years of sentence than me. I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life. I'm strong, free, and Emma and I have built a perfect life together. Sometimes I think about those old days. Playing the crazy role for 2 years was very difficult. But that process taught me a lot. The power of patience, the importance of planning, knowing my own worth, and most importantly, never giving up. When Emma asked me that night, Mommy, why do you always pretend to be sick? She was actually warning me. That little question had pushed me to use my real power, helped me take my life back. Now I'm reading a bedtime story to Emma in the bedroom. As she sleeps safely, I also sleep peacefully because no one can hurt us anymore, because I'm strong, Catherine. And I'm nobody's victim. Sometimes you need to appear weak to be strong. Sometimes you need to pretend to lose to win. But in the end, the truth always comes out, and I am now completely free.